The state of Georgia's medical system neglected Cadence, and the entire prosecution team failed to do their due diligence in investigating her death thoroughly. The state medical examiner's conclusions seem to reflect more of a confirmation bias for the hospital's abuse narrative than the facts before her. Although Dr. Darasaw's report confirmed Cadence had liver disease and acute bronchopneumonia, neither were considered contributors to her death. Many of Cadence's organs were donated before she ever arrived for her autopsy. And according to the autopsy report, the only tests Cadence received were toxicology tests to identify any drugs in her system. Dr. Darasaw could never definitively state how Cadence was allegedly asphyxiated or what caused bleeding in her brain. She did, however, express full confidence in the cause of Cadence's rib fractures, but she happened to have been wrong. If the state's medical examiner can be so certain of an obviously erroneous finding, then how can we trust her findings concerning Cadence's other injuries? Senator Jones' inexperience with murder cases, combined with a lack of preparation and his political and legal conflicts of interest, hindered him from providing Jerome with a sufficient defense. Senator Jones attempted to establish a defense using the prosecution's evidence alone. He never bothered to subpoena Cadence's medical records from Georgia or Louisiana, where she was born. Senator Jones testified to having only tried 2 murder cases that never made it to trial prior to representing Jerome, and he also admitted his failure to object to the admission of testimony about Cadence's rib fractures was a mistake. Not only was Jerome wrongfully convicted, but he was also improperly sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Based on Georgia's second-degree murder statute, Judge Carlisle Overstreet was obligated to apply the rule of lenity and sentence Jerome to no more than 30 years, which is the statutory maximum for a conviction of cruelty to children, the second degree. Over the years, Jerome's version of events from February 20th, 2013 has never changed. The Hughes family have always maintained Cadence died from an undiagnosed medical condition. It is not uncommon for undiagnosed medical conditions in children to be mistaken for abuse. It has become such a huge issue in the state of Georgia that the state Senate recently passed Ridge's Law in response to the growing concern. Ridge's Law aims to protect parents falsely accused of child abuse by allowing them the right to a second medical opinion before the state can remove children from the homes of loving parents. Prior to his wrongful conviction, Jerome Hughes had no criminal record and served as a decorated chief petty officer in the Navy for close to 19 years. He was just 1 year shy of retirement prior to his conviction and subsequent discharge. As a result, his family lost their only source of income, their home, medical insurance, education benefits for his 8 children, and so much more. Nevertheless, Jerome remains a loving husband and proud father. He has spent over 10 years in one of Georgia's most violent and deadly prisons. Despite the ferocious environment, Jerome has remained free of infractions and true to his upstanding character. He continues to operate in what he believes is his calling to serve by mentoring young men in confinement alongside him. Cadence Alexander was loved and cared for by all who knew her. She was not abused, and this is not a case of child abuse or murder. This is a case of legal and medical malpractice. Jerome was wrongfully convicted because Senator Harold Jones never presented an actual defense. The jury never knew Cadence's previous doctors neglected to perform tests recommended by their own pediatric infectious disease doctor before discharging her home just weeks before her death. Neither did they know Cadence would not have been with Jerome Hughes when she sustained her rib fractures. It is far past time we learn the truth of what caused Cadence's death and right this miscarriage of justice. Please follow for Jerome on all your social media platforms and share his story. With your help, we can ensure Jerome is exonerated and that those responsible for Cadence's death and his wrongful conviction are held accountable.